Many of you out there are probably looking to find the best graphics cards for the least amount of money, buying as much performance as you can for the least price. What I have here today fits just half of that ideal, costing just $20 including shipping. It's an XFX HD 6570, the undesirable version with just 1GB of DDR3 VRAM. Gaming isn't this card's primary purpose, rather. This card was designed more to be a display adapter that is a little more powerful than the dreaded HD 6450 of the same era. So, how is it to use? One of the main benefits of having such a weak GPU is that it requires no external power connectors, meaning this will slot into pretty much any old computer and possibly bring life to an old system with extremely weak integrated graphics. It's also great to have handy to pop around into different systems for testing. Moving on to the specs, this HD 6570 was released 8 years ago in 2011 with a launch price of just $79, further confirming its main purpose as a display adapter. Features 480 shader units clocked at 650 MHz, while this XFX DDR3 variant has 1GB of DDR3 memory clocked at 500 MHz. It's a single slot card and has one HDMI, one DVI, and one VGA port for display output. Since it only consumes 40 to 60 watts depending on the exact model, this card does not require any external power connectors. How does it perform? Gaming, in a word, is horrible on this GPU. Even easy-to-run games like CSGO can only manage 32 FPS average at stock speed even at 720p low, likely due to the slow VRAM of this GPU. The GDDR5 variants should perform much better. However, this will not discourage us, and we shall begin to overclock this beast to get playable frame rates in some games. After unlocking the unofficial overclocking setting in MSI Afterburner, we were able to pump the graphics clock to 725 MHz and the memory clock to 575 MHz. Both increases of plus 75 MHz. This is nearing the territory of this card's older brother, the HD 6670, which is the same card but with a graphics clock speed of 800 MHz. We are also nearing the limit of the power that the PCI Express slot can deliver, limiting our overclocking. So, now how do games perform after our massive overclock? Going back to CSGO, it still runs badly compared to even integrated graphics at just 38 FPS average. This, however, is still an 18% increase in average FPS, likely caused by the slightly faster VRAM. CSGO appears to rely heavily on VRAM speeds. The rest of the games today did not see as large of a performance increase, however. Keep in mind that all of today's benchmarks will be at 720p low settings. Also be aware that the footage you see on screen is not representative of real-world gameplay, since the footage you see on screen had to be recorded. BioShock Infinite, a fairly easy game to run, ran at 22 FPS average when overclocked, compared to 21 FPS average at stock speeds, for an increase of just 1 FPS. A bad result, but it still proves that overclocking makes a difference in squeezing every last frame out of an old GPU. GTA 4 up next, and it ran at 21 FPS average after overclocking, compared to 20 before, another small but sure gain. Its successor, GTA 5, usually runs similarly to GTA 4 due to the unoptimized CPU performance of GTA 4. However, this GPU is easily holding our quad-core processor back, averaging just 18 FPS, while at stock speed it would hit just 17. So far, just CSGO has been able to maintain above 30 FPS, while a few others are dipping into moving picture territory. Well, these next games are going to plummet into PowerPoint slideshow at 200% speed territory. For fun, we tested Rise of the Tomb Raider's in-game benchmark, which ran at 13 FPS after overclocking and just 11 before overclocking. Definitely not playable. Even worse, The Witcher 3 could only manage 10 FPS while riding around the map, even while trying its hardest. I swear, I've seen flipbooks that are smoother than this. Well, what we have been trying to do here is game on this processor, which was not what AMD designed for this GPU to do. It's really not meant to do any gaming at all, maybe besides some vanilla Minecraft here and there. Speaking of which, that runs at 75 FPS at 720p low, and 78 FPS when overclocked. Not the best result still. Overclocking could not salvage this old girl, and in a rare case, I'd suggest leaving it unoverclocked for quieter office operation. It's really still a miracle that this GPU supports DirectX 11, meaning that it will at least start all modern games, which is something I can't really say about other $20 GPUs. When using this for what AMD intended it for, such as 1080p 60 video playback and HD Netflix playback, everything is as smooth as butter. A little stronger than the dreaded 6450, this is a great GPU to stick into a parent's old office PC and forget about, until maybe 10 years down the line when it'll have trouble running Solitaire 3D. Thanks for watching.